Welcome back on the AM show. Time now for us to bring in our guests for the news review. And joining us, we have Naa Yaa Jantuah. She is former General Secretary of the CPP. She's been with the PURC. And especially with that latest development from the PURC, I'll be speaking to her about what her thoughts are. We also have Akufo-Addo. He is former president of the Ghana Journalists Association. And of course, on the back of that latest journalism awards, we're going to speak to him as well. They join us for the news review. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Great Ben.
Thanks for the accolade. And of course, Sweetie Abochi is also here.
The rising star.
Thank you.
Anyway, so I wanted to say something in addition, but I realized I should say I'm being mischievous this morning, so I'm not going to go there. I like the new hairdo, by the way. I like shortcuts. So not shortcuts, short haircuts, la coiffure. Okay, so like we usually do, we'll give you a minute each to talk about some matters arising. I believe some of the papers capture, I believe it's the Daily Graphic capturing the Ghana Journalism Awards, so eventually we can get there as well. And then there's the PURC and other developments. Akufo-Addo, I'll start with you.
Naturally, the DJ Awards and the winners are on top of the dizzying news cycle. And I will seize the opportunity to sprinkle a stardust of commendation on all the award winners, especially the utmost winner, Edward Adeti. Of course, I had tipped Erastus Asaridonko to win the award based on one critical criterion of selecting the journalist of the year, that is social impact, in terms of impact of his works, his exposés, and the risks to which he's exposed. I thought he was in a comfortable lead, only for him to overtake him by Adeti. This is not to say that Adeti does not deserve the ultimate award.
Right.
He does. Who am I to question the panel? So congratulations to Multimedia for sweeping as many as nine awards,
Yep.
and it cements your solidity as the most fearless, credible media house in this country. And let me also add that yours is a media house of distinctive quality. No doubt. You keep on producing journalists of topmost quality. And I'll go ahead to mention names like Evans, who deserves to win the Journalist of the Year. And there's a gentleman on my right who's also gained name recognition as one of the most fearless, forthright journalists in this country, the great Ben. And on my left, a lady with a sweet name and making strides each and every day. Sweetie, my own daughter, Nancy Thompson, and a host of them.
Mamie Thompson.
Mamie Thompson.
I mean, PM Express won on the night.
Yeah.
So at least Evans and team, something to be proud of, all of us.
Sure.
Something to walk home with. Here's my feeling. I feel every year, and I am not very sentimental or emotional about awards. I've never been, the type to. I've never been the type to think that, oh, you need an award before you get recognition. Whenever I step out there, within Ghana, outside of Ghana, it's recognition enough. But I feel there are so many people who every year would be in that bracket, would qualify.
Sure.
And so, I mean, one person ultimately will win it.
Sure.
And salutes to all of those who have won it from, it's been decades long.
Yeah.
And everyone who wins it deserves it. So we salute all of them.
There was a time we asked the media houses to nominate because many are those who feel reluctant to send us submissions to assess for awards. And this system was...
And I, for example, I never do.
So this, in order to rope in people like you, we asked the media houses to make their own selections. And that system was blatantly abused. So we had to discontinue that system.
I see.
And everybody has a sense of achievement. And GGI was at the pinnacle of such achievement. So congratulations to all the world winners.
Congratulations to our team and to all those who won from other, Clinton Yeboah in terms of young journalism and all the others, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi for sports and all of that. Yeah.
So that he supported the wrong team.
He supports the wrong team. Eh? We'll see about that. Naa Yaa.
Yes. Anything we are talking about the same GG. Who is the
Whatever is on your mind.
person who won?
Edward
Aditi.
I don't know him.
He's an investigative journalist.
With which
Fourth
medium?
Estate.
He's with this entity. I just have to
Fourth Estate.
check.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Fourth Estate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Media Without Borders. That's what I
yeah.
saw.
So, yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Media Without Borders.
Okay, congratulations to him. But when we were young in journalism, normally these awards are given to
Older.
yes, conventional media houses.
Should that?
I'm just
be,
asking. I'm just wondering.
I feel some of those things are a bit.
But I'm
So
saying
unless you get to one of those conventional ones,
that
you will
is
never
why
win.
I don't know him. But I'm saying that. I mean, that is what was the norm.
Okay.
Erastus too has done very good.
Erastus, yeah, Erastus.
I thought he was
yeah.
there. But it's okay. Whatever the DJ decides to do, I mean, that's it. I think it was a great okay. I watched it on TV. For some reason, I wasn't invited. And why are you looking at me like that?
That is serious.
Yes.
Have you always been invited in the past?
Yes, because we are one of the pioneers of DJ. And
Okay.
that was, as young people, that was our playing field. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, of course. I mean, that was anytime you are free, you pass by. And so, and when Auntie Gifty was getting the secretariats for us, Gifty Afenida, we're all around her. So
maybe a few things have slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
oh, I
So,
mean,
Mr. Jumfor, if you are watching us this morning,
yeah, I was always
Auntie Jantuah is saying,
Pride Blue and everybody. We were always around. I was with them.
The Emeritus,
The
our General
emeritus,
Secretary
yeah,
Emeritus.
General
yeah.
Secretary Emeritus.
okay. So let's quickly get to
So-
your thoughts.
Oh,
for
me,
us.
what are my thoughts? I think my thoughts I've heard is going to be a main topic at the discussion segment. But when I was coming, I heard that we don't have enough vaccines for rabies. Dogs. Rabies. Okay, I'll come to that. We don't have enough vaccines for
But there have been times when human beings,
And I am
babies and the rest, there have been shortages.
But
so,
you know, rabies is a very deadly.
Oh, it is. It is.
And it can be given.
And we have a poor vaccination system in Ghana. There are lots of people with not just canines, but other pets that
Yes,
need rabies.
one in 5
shots
dogs, has been vaccinated, and we have to meet it by 20 to 30. We should eradicate rabies. So I don't know under which ministry. Is it a ministry of?
I mean, this is veterinary medicine.
Veterinary, so it's under
and this
Ministry of
is
Health.
Animal, maybe not
Husbandry.
animal husbandry,
No, it
but
can't be animal
because they are pets, they are not.
pets,
But
yeah.
I would want to think somehow it would fall under the agric ministry
Yeah, but
in
dogs
some
are-
way.
Dogs are not. Okay, let me.
Well, this is just my assumption, not to
So
say
the
that.
tariffs to have been in. I said, hey, these people will kill us. But you see, it's also a factor of how well the economy is doing. Because the reasons they give, inflation has come down, but the exchange rate is high. You get me? The dollar to CD is not pleasant. So if it's a bit of a worry that we are seeing increases every quarter. For me, it's possible it's a conditionality by IMF. Because the only reason, the other factors, availability of the service, the cost of the service.
Right.
We need to also look at the generation mix, which is key with the hydro overflowing its banks. What kind of generation mix are we using? The dependence on hydro and, I mean, they need to come further.
Right.
Because if you talk about only exchange rates, and inflation. There's the generation mix. How much thermal are you using? How much hydro are you using? So what is the cost component of these? Certainly,
Right.
when you mix the two, what are you getting? Do you understand? So sometimes the cost components of the generation mix can negate the impact of the exchange rate.
Okay.
So we need to have a broader explanation. You can't just bring a press release and say that it is inflation and exchange rate. If it's inflation, inflation has dropped dramatically from 54 to about 20 point something. Yes, the exchange rate is high. So in all the parameters as we stand, is it the exchange rate that is only high? What can negate the impact of the exchange rate?
Right.
And if not, you have to let us know. But just saying that it was by exchange rates and inflation. Inflation is low, so truly, if that's what you are saying, then it means that there's a problem.
All right, there could be a problem. Yeah. Let's spend the rest of the time digging into the papers and talking about, there are so many stories, Daily Graphic, Custodian, Ghanaian Times. I'm seeing a story here, for example, in the Ghanaian publisher, Baumia leads Mahama in latest polls. We'll scrutinize those. But let's start with Sweetie Abochi. What stories do you have quickly? So
I have the Daily Graphic, and of course we spent some time already talking about the fallouts from the GGA awards. But what I found very interesting was that even after the GGA president called on the president of the country.
He looked angry.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the video circulating on social media show the president was, his body language. I said, was trying to tell Albert Dumfo that, what did you try to do over there? And I thought that was interesting. But after he climbed the stage to deliver a speech, not even an acknowledgement that, okay, at this point, we're in the same room, I'm sitting right in front of you, and you've said this, I've heard you. There was no indication.
Did you have an issue?
No, I'm not talking, I don't think there's any bad blood, but the fact that he mentioned illegal mining, condemning the arrest of these people in the detention, talks about how the president put his presidency on the line by nearly 8 years. It's as if we've lost the fight and now it's affecting our water supply. I was expecting some sort of acknowledgement.
But he's smiling.
Or instant response.
But he just completely ignored the entire subject matter of Galamsey as if it doesn't exist. Anyway, so I'm just, adding that.
And he also mentioned that attacks on journalists is an attack on our democracy.
Yes, he did.
I guess that didn't sound very palatable.
So I'm just saying that
it shouldn't sound palatable.
No, but I'm saying that for whatever reasons, because I've seen some things on social media purporting certain things, which I can't repeat because I've not verified those. But it definitely has stoked anger in certain quarters, and it's always funny. I was out of this country for a number of days, and still with my blunt thoughts, which I left behind, I got some interesting comments from people from a certain political end shooting, and I sent them messages back. This country, we are very interesting people. Let me just leave it there. Very interesting people. Sweetie, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Where was I again? Let me skip from that and do the story about GHS rolls out new vaccines in 136 districts. Also because we're talking about vaccination and the challenges in there. It reads, the Ghana Health Service has commenced the rollout of newly introduced malaria vaccines in 136 districts in 11 regions as part of efforts to eliminate the devastating impact of malaria on children. And the subnational introduction of the vaccine, which is now part of the routine child immunization program in Ghana, will lead to the vaccination of about 200,000 children between the ages of 6 months and 18 months each year. The vaccine, the doses will be administered in 4 schedules for children at the ages of 6 months, 7 months, 9 months, and 18 months to be fully protected. It's not enough to just begin or roll out this initiative. It's how effective it would be and the sustainability of it. Yeah. I'll leave that and come to you later for your thoughts. But let me just do 2 more stories in the Daily Graphic, and then it would be a wrap for that. Reject NDC's candidate forms. Petition appeals to the EC. There was a story here. Ghana makes strides in integrating AI into curricula. Let me get into this. Ghana is one of the 15 countries out of 198 member nations of UNESCO that has successfully integrated artificial intelligence into its school curricula. Successfully? How successful has it been? The current standard-based curriculum for computing in primary 4 to 6 primarily focuses on the practical applications of AI. Quote, thus, it includes some foundational concepts of AI ethics. It also introduces students to databases, AI techniques, programming, and algorithmic thinking. From junior high school 1 to 3, students delve into computational thinking, encompassing the subs. Really? Is this really happening in our schools?
Yeah,
Do we have AI in our curriculum for junior high schools? Are you familiar with it?
No,
This is coming
it
as
sounds
a
alien.
shock.
Very alien, yes.
Yes.
Anyway.
Well, let's say we don't know.
We don't know.
Let's say we don't.
Maybe it could be.
But I know some. I know
it's
people in junior high school, and anyway, I'll find out from
Yeah,
them.
but-
if
But
they
you've
allow
never
it.
asked them whether
They are
they
not
are
allowed to-
taking any programs in AI.
They are
so-
not allowed to even use AI, so.
Anyway, so let me leave it there for your quick reflection. So
Well,
GJ,
Naa Yaa,
fallout,
they may
and
not
the
be
story
allowed
of,
to use AI to work on their exams, or at least maybe they can use it for research. But this is teaching them about AI. So, there's a
So why do you
difference.
teach me about AI if I can't use it? Is it for my bedroom?
No, but the point
I know, I mean,
is,
seriously, if you teach
we know
me,
my
Ben, if you teach me about AI, you are teaching me to use it. If you teach me about a computer, you are teaching me to use it. So why do you teach me?
my studies in national security law and practice, we had AI cybersecurity components. It didn't mean in exams you were expected to use AI.
No, but why did you?
do your-
So to do what?
But it's a knowledge base.
You are-
It's a knowledge base.
No, but you are teaching
It's
me.
exposing them
No,
to
you are
artificial
teaching me to
intelligence.
use it for research.
Listen, the story is that Ghana is one of 198 countries who successfully integrated AI into their curriculum.
You have even wasted
So,
them.
no, that's the story. I'm just putting it in
If you
perspective.
integrate
And it said
AI,
successfully.
my dear, if you integrate AI into your curriculum, it means you are telling me that I can use it.
But there are different ways of using AI
They're
without
teaching them about AI. It is
without
for
cheating.
industrial
So we shouldn't
revolution.
teach them about artificial intelligence
I'm-
and what it's doing across the world.
We should teach them, but they can also use it for research.
No,
You get
no, but
me?
that's all part of
But
it.
they don't
What
allow-
is unacceptable is using it, to take your exams or
But it's the same
using
thing.
it. No, but it's not the same.
Okay, but you see, we waste time. But if I use AI for research, the data I get, the information I get, I use it to write an exam.
No, but researching is different from saying that. You know what ChatGPT, sometimes can be used for. So you have young people basically keying in the question and everything, or some people, and then copying exactly what is there and pasting. That is not thinking. That is not work. You can still use AI for research, glean what information you need, and then repurpose it and use it.
But if
so
you show-
it's
if you
it's
show-
not the same thing as
Show me
just.
to use it. What, and I can do it easily.
So your point is we shouldn't show them how to use it at all.
That don't, if you show me and they use it, it's okay. But they prevent them from using it. Do you get it?
Ayo,
Uh-huh.
we hear you.
If you show me they are
Sweetie, any other stories?
Yeah, no, let's review those and then move on to other papers.
I also see there on the
Simone,
page next
yeah.
to this one, the National Science and Math Quiz launch, and they will actually be passing through today as well. So we look forward to that. Naa Yaa?
Afamon, we haven't.
Okay.
The president's admonition to journalists to safeguard our democracy is banned by the Ghanaian Times. And we also have a story which says president's daughters not involved in illegal mining. This is a rebuttal to the allegations leveled by Honorable Opejetu. And then
I think the mere fact that we get here where we are asking whether SMSC is involved or not is itself a problem. But that's all I'll say.
Electricity tariff goes up by 1.86%, water by 3.02%, given the precarious economic position of the ECG and Ghana Water.
the water, you don't even get it, and they are increasing it.
So I think we need to bear with the PRC in this instance. This is my humble take. And Court
Why do you
invalidate
think so?
1,000 voter transfers to Menchia South constituency to dismiss security personnel, civilian jail for 90 years for robbery, the Ghanaian Times. And Ghanaian Times has an editorial on the JJ Awards congratulating the award winners. Yeah.
So the PRC tariff bid, I see
bear
that
with
story.
them,
If you would
right?
just briefly, right on the next page, electricity tariff goes up 1.86%, water 3.02%. I think that sums it up. Naa Yaa, what is your take
But
on
I
that?
said it. I mean, this is it. They said that the indicators are the exchange rate. That's what I heard, exchange rate and inflation. But they should give us the full details of the generation mix. I mean, the price of crude oil, the inflation, which one is the highest in the whole this thing.
The mix.
And especially the fact that now hydro is at a certain level. You should let us know if we are using more hydro than thermal. And hydro is cheap. Or it is like just a condition for IMF that they should do the automatic adjustment formula. Automatic adjustment formula does not mean that you should increase. And I'm saying that inflation has come down from 54 to about 20.8. So inflation is gradually falling. So what is it that...
But you would admit that that inflation is not, or the deflation, whichever way you want to look at it, is not reflective of the exchange rate. The exchange rate is actually still in the doldrums. Have you seen what the Swiss franc is? Last time I checked, it was 18 point something. The pound is over 20.
20.
The dollar is approaching 17.
But they use the dollar more.
Exactly. That's exactly
So I'm
the
saying
point.
that they should do the calculation for us to see that if exchange rate is maybe 17, what are they using to generate the electricity? Certainly, if they are using hydro more than thermal, then it should come down a bit. And I'm saying automatic adjustment formula does not mean you should always increase tariffs. You can maintain it.
There's a whole lot that goes into these, and I'm sure you are fully aware.
You can maintain it. You can reduce it. As long as there's some movement in the tariff at the quarter, you have done AF. So it is not always that you have to increase. So if they are talking about the exchange rate, then they should really let us know exactly what it is.
But apart from the exchange rate factor, one story which is trending is that ECG is teetering on the brink of collapse. So they will need...
But that doesn't mean, you see, the ECG...
So they need...
Yeah, something just to push them.
No,
But you see, those problems, first off, I stand on both ends because as a consumer, especially if you're using one of the new meters, they run pretty fast.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more to pay.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Imagine those who may be Lifeline, even Lifeline users now, and you know that has been lowered. So now more people are above the Lifeline zone. It's a precarious economic situation. On the other end, we have to ensure that, like you're saying, our power generators and distributors remain viable. But the point, my final point is this. Governments have done things. For example, the GNPC. You know, it is owed about, though it is funded by government, it is owed about $1 billion. Sure. There are loans, we'll say, oh, GNPC guarantee for car powership, guarantee for VRA, even ECG.
That's what I was coming.
You see, all of these are the problems affecting the institutions.
We would not,
the same governments.
We would not use a tariff to solve the problems of ECG. ECG was given a major tariff, in the major tariff review, it was given a certain amount of money which represent the cost of the service that they are going to provide, which also equates to the revenue requirement they need, and also an 8% rate of return as in profit. There's also a benchmark loss of 21%. If you go, that is allowable in the tariff. If you go beyond the 21% benchmark loss, that one is not my loss anymore. Typically, it should be around 15, 10 to 15. So the 21 is 10 commercial, 11 technical. Because the technical, you don't have control over it because the wires business is very expensive. As you wheel power along, you lose the strength of some of these wires. They need cables, they need...
so the bottom line is what? ECG shouldn't be here? Is that what you're saying?
They shouldn't be here. because you need to be prudent. As you said, ECG at a point ahead bought crude oil for the sector. Why should ECG buy crude oil?
Well, recently,
it is not their job.
Dubik Mahama
has
resigned.
Yes.
There's the new gentleman. His name just escapes me. Asamoah, who has been brought in. After Markin, the board chair says ECG is in a good place. There's no crisis. You say they are teetering on the edge. I don't know.
No, because
the majority leader, who is board chair, says they are fine.
If your revenue requirement is 1.2 billion and you can collect 842 million, that is more than 50% of your revenue requirement. So you are doing this. So how can you say that ECG is collecting about 43% of their revenue requirement, as was, put in the tariff for them. And every time there is some shoring up of the tariff through the AAF. So why should you have such a low collection rate? Your collection rate is about 90, 95, 80.
And we know that collection rates have increased over time.
No, but collection rate hasn't increased over time because your loss has increased.
No, I'm saying that the collection rates have increased. They have increased, but the losses have also increased.
Yeah,
so in the end,
you can't have a good collection rate and have the cash is different. We are talking about percentages.
Well.
Because if you are doing, I heard they are doing about 28% loss. If you do a 28%,
which is huge.
If you are doing a 28% loss, your collection rate will not improve.
Right. Any other? Do you have any other stories before we get to Naa Yaa's paper?
DJ, I was still trending, and there's a call for investigation into illegal mining activities, and this is coming from the country director for Africa Institute for Small-Scale Mining, Alhaji Abdul Salam Yusuf. He said Ghana is on the brink of environmental catastrophe due to the unregulated mining, popularly known as galamsey, which is needed to be addressed immediately to avoid further harm to the health, well-being, and future of its citizens. This point can hardly be articulated. And to go back to what Sweetie said, Nanado was rattled by the reference to galamsey and the state of emergency call, and the fact that he had put his presidency on the line. I would have expected the president to anticipate the raising of such issues.
But
would have prepared to.
You know, these things with our leaders, and not just Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, with our leaders, I wonder sometimes, because I checked out this post, for example, purportedly from 2014. I think the 10th of September, interestingly, we are in. And the post then was, where it is necessary to criticize me, do not hesitate. Point out when things are going wrong. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, 2014.
And so the platform was the final.
Maybe different strokes for different folks.
Politicians for you.
Me that day I thought, okay. He said latest survey gives Bawumia 49.4%, Mahama 45.1%. MPP marches for victory 2024. Avoid fake news towards.
Why did you say?
Why? Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem with that headline?
My dear, you see,
Are they not marching for victory? Well.
What's happening now? And then she'll go to game.
You see this picture. When I saw Nanado on TV that day, I was like, sometimes he should manage his emotions. Because this picture is a real Nanado, the way he's smiling. Do you get me? So that day when I saw him, I said, did somebody make him angry before he came here? Because he's a very seasoned politician and he should be able to take some of these things.
No, but he's being himself.
Especially,
no, he's being himself.
No,
let me just tell you this. Let me tell you this. A few years ago, when I went for the global climate adaptation, about 2 years ago, event in the Netherlands, it was so funny because, of course, I do my blunt thoughts and I blast, the system and all of that. It was so funny because the president came in his car and Professor Verkooyen we are at this side, the Ghana entourage is here, and they are, going, nah, no. And he gets out and he's smiling in that direction. And I'm saying this with all honesty. Those of you who watched it, you can go back and watch. A lot of people were on the thread asking, wait till you do the president. Because he's immediately, Professor Ferkoyen tells him, and Benjamin Akakpo from Joy News takes a look and the mood. There was a switch from. No, but I understand.
I understand.
I may not be the most pleasant person for him. It's okay.
When you are a president, you are a president for all. And you have to.
But he also has emotions.
Yeah, he's human.
He's a human being.
Yeah,
I beg you.
He's a human being with emotions.
Please,
perfection is an impossible goal.
No.
Yeah,
you have to check yourself to see where you are.
There's a limit to which you can check.
No, there's no limit to, because you are the president. You are a public figure. One thing that even made me sad was when they were adulating Fati, that she's the best, and everybody, one of the best, everybody was clapping, being a woman. He just sat there and looked at them as if, what are you talking about?
You mean the information
Yes, the information minister. And truly, Fati has been doing well.
He has any qualms with the information minister?
I do not know. I am just saying that in public, if you have a position, you need to manage your emotions. Because you see, there are times that you even quarrel from wherever you are and you come in. You have to manage. When I was general secretary, there are times we are from a leadership meeting and we are quarreling. And by the time we get down, there's a press conference, we are all together. You don't show that you're upset. You have to learn that. Because it is not good for the optics.
So you're talking of emotional intelligence.
Yes, it's not good for the optics, especially being the president. Because as I see, when I saw this picture, I said, then what happened that he changed back into his normal self? As you're saying,
mood swings are normal.
Please, how can you say a president who has mood swings? Then you are in trouble. It's
why is a president above emotions?
Please, I beg you, if you take a position to be a president, it's a difficult one. No. You don't have your life anymore. Everything about you changes.
But to be fair, whether it's here or in the US,
you
would see that there are times journalists pose questions and presidents would react as you can tell from the facial expression also. Maybe they don't go over the top, but like I said, even with my personal encounter, I don't hold it against anybody. It's
Ben, you are not.
I understand. You say once you get to that office, you have to. But it's a human.
No, his mood didn't come during the speech. When he came, when I saw that mood, it was the Nigerian. I don't know whether the Nigerian ambassador to Ghana or somebody was speaking, and he didn't look. He didn't look happy at all. It was even after that the GJ president came to speak. Do you get me? So I'm saying that when you are a leader and you are in public, you need to manage the mood in which.
All right, point made. Let's go to the next thing.
So we've talked about it. MPA targets 50% gas usage.
But it seems to dodge the survey.
I've spoken now. Hey.
But let's get some details from there. Or do you want me to? Because I'll also get into that.
The survey gives Bawumia 49.4, Mahama 40. Who did the survey?
So read for us.
You can show me glasses.
All right. So let me.
The latest survey by research organization Outcomes International has given Dr. Bawumia, the presidential candidate of the NPP, a slight edge over John Mahama, the presidential candidate of the NDC in the December 2024 presidential elections. It indicated that if elections were held today, Dr. Bawumia would get 49.4% of the votes, Mr. Mahama 45.1%, with other presidential candidates 0.3% of the votes, and undecided voters standing at 5.2%. Okay. According to the survey, Bawumia is also projected to win 11 out of the 16 regions, while former President John Mahama is expected to take 5 regions. The survey was conducted between August 15th and September 15th. Surveyed thousands of registered voters across all regions of Ghana. This is not the first time Dr. Bawumia has taken the lead in polls, as various credible polls have put one candidate ahead of the other at different times. Regional dominance. Dr. Bawumia's sweep of 11 regions is a significant boost to his campaign, particularly in the Ashanti region, where he has regained the lead with 64% of the votes. The Central region, a critical and must-win region for the MPP, also shows a significant recovery for Bawumia Mahama's challenge. Former President Mahama, who has been unsuccessful in his previous bids to return to power since 2016, faces an uphill battle. His campaign has focused on resetting Ghana's economy and governance, but remains to be seen if this message will resonate with voters. As the election draws near, both candidates will need to win over undecided voters and maintain their strongholds. With the polls showing a close contest, the next few weeks will be crucial in determining the outcome of the elections.
Okay, I think we've got the whole story there. Which group is it again that conducted
Research
this?
something.
Research what?
Research Organization Outcomes International. Please, you see this.
Well, this is my first time hearing of them.
But the point is that in 2020, that things were not this bad. It says Excellency John Dramani Mahama won 9 regions. Do you get me? Anytime MPP, this research, they have a, we should go and look for the, anytime MPP gets 65% in Ashanti, they lose the election.
No, I was stunned when I heard
yes,
that.
Below
because
70, they lose the election.
The MPP always must secure 70-something
yes, in Ashanti region.
To win. So I was even surprised that it was saying he's in the lead with 65%.
In Ashanti.
I don't know
and NDC,
who is doing this research.
Let's say NDC will get 32, maybe Alan will get the rest in Ashanti region.
No, if
leading 11 out of.
The NDC gets 30% in the Ashanti region,
NPP has lost.
That is
yes.
problem. I mean, per our electoral history.
Yes.
So I don't know who, unless the figure there is wrong.
But my dear, immediately I saw the 65%, then I said this is a flawed analysis. Because
well, I mean, you can give them the benefit of the doubt. What is interesting is that Global Info Analytics, I think a few days ago or something, I saw on X, was saying the reverse of this.
Yes.
That I think the former president he had 50-something%, and that he was winning either 11 or 12 regions. So, but look, I always say that these are polls, like in the US has better systems. When these polls, if they are talking about Nebraska and this district, these polls, I don't pay too much attention to these polls because let's face it, sometimes we know what happens. Move on. The best poll will take place on December the 7th.
Otunfo said that God is the one who installs kings. So let's move on.
And the Bible also amplifies that.
Yes, so let's
Daniel
move on.
2:21.
Yeah, Daniel 2. So let's move on. We've talked about MPP victory for 20 marches for victory 2024. Galamsey protest gone foul. I believe we'll talk about this one later, or this thing. Ben, are we going to talk about it later?
Which one?
The Galamsey issue.
Yes, it's one of those issues that...
Okay, so let's put it on the back burner. MPP to win more seats in Parliament survey is the same thing. Naa Yaa Jantuah visits Asante on campaign tour. Democracy Hub protest was politically motivated. NPP manifesto to stimulate economic growth. Bano.
But you see, this point some people in certain quarters are making that this was politically motivated. Let's even say granted, right? It was.
But then we'll come there.
No, hold for me. Let's assume it was, right? They are citizens. They have concerns about what is happening. I don't have to be political to be concerned. But if they do, the Constitution guarantees that they can be political and still be concerned about these issues. Those saying that even if it were, it makes no sense to go about, oh, it was politically motivated. Is the problem there or not?
No, but what is political?
Are we facing the consequences or not? I'm saying that even if you want to go down, it makes no sense to even think about it in that context.
Politically motivated, what is the meaning?
Alan Chemating, in his recent 10-point plan, also mentions that it is unconstitutional and unlawful from where he sits for these people to be detained. No one is saying, I've said it time and again, and like I said, on the back of my blunt thoughts, I had a big, senior member of the MPP reach out with a portion of the video. And I told him, I'm not saying that what these people did, some of the acts were right. But the reaction, it's overkill. It's like killing a fly with a sledgehammer. hammer,
Too
and it
high-handed.
doesn't work for the optics.
Not
But
at
some
all.
people are not thinking into these things.
And the worst part,
Their problem.
worst part is that it's denting our image as a citadel
Me,
democracy.
I'm
So we
pretty-
need, what is trending outside is not good for
No, but
image as a
the
country.
Commonwealth Human Rights Institute, they have written, and I'm praying that it does not affect our bid to head the Commonwealth. Do you get me? And other international bodies have come out to talk about it. So I think it's something that doesn't look very good.
And then next
Not at
year's,
Yeah.
global, Journalists Without Borders report.
Yeah.
You can tell that because it happens from,
Press
so it will
Freedom
feed
Index, yeah.
Press Freedom Index. It will feed
Because
into next year's report.
Sure.
I listened to John Major on BBC, and he said that,
The former PM.
yes, of UK, he said that we should make sure that the young ones don't lose faith in democracy, because it is gradually coming up that using some countries as an example, Venezuela and others, Russia, that if the young ones lose faith in democracy, then we are finished. And he was asked the question, what are you afraid of? He said, I am afraid of autocracy. Autocracy where even in a democracy, you find that there's some subjugation. What we are seeing now is autocracy in democracy.
And the fact is that faith in democracy is on the wane.
Yes.
What did you say?
Yeah.
Fake.
Yes, faith. Yes,
Trust.
faith is on the wane.
Trust,
Yes,
yes.
it's on the
It's
wane.
dangerous on the wane.
Wane, yes.
So we need to
yes, we need to really
arrest that, yeah.
But the
arrest
latest
that.
Afrobarometer report clearly shows it, and we are still acting as though everything were.
Well, when you look, we talk to the young
picture
ones.
perfect.
What they talk about, I don't want to mention.
It's same with me.
they are
When you
loo-
talk to the young ones,
Yes, they are looking
there's
for-
clear despair.
They are looking for some massive takeover, not through democracy.
Right.
So we need to really make sure that our democracy is working. And
Okay.
I think that most of these people who have been incarcerated are young.
And yesterday, Alan Chamati came up with some solutions to this crisis. That's calling for the filing of nolli prosequi
Right.
and discontinuation of this case, release of the protesters.
I think they've punished them enough for whatever
Yeah,
infractions that
yeah.
happened there.
Well, it's the AG himself who led this, so let's see whether
Let's see
those
what
actions
happens.
will be.
Butro Sorgani once said, it's only a fool doesn't change his mind.
Well,
So,
But-
so we
AG can change
Nana Yaa, we
his mind.
have
But Ben,
to we have to
AG
go.
has said clearly that this is an issue we should leave to the courts. They will
Okay,
not.
And they can change their mind
Let's leave it to the courts
and
then.
to amplify what Butro Sorgani said.
But me, listen,
Only a fool doesn't change his mind.
I want to come to
Well, once some of these matters get to the courts, it's not so. But like he said, maybe filing a nolli prosequi might.
because Ben, I want to come back
It's
to
a
this
step, it should be a
survey.
step in the
Our
right
time is up, actually. so-
No, it's in the front page. But I just want to say, with people like Alan Chematin, we are consistently seeing a 4%. But now this person is telling us that all of them will get 0.3%. We are all the surveys, no matter what it is, consistently we see between 3 to 4% for Alan. Why is it not here?
Well, if you add the 49.4, let's round it up at 50. If you add the 95, there will still
He
be
said there's a 5%
about 5%
undecided.
undecided.
He said
Okay,
undecided.
all right. I'm not going to get into my papers, but Sanitation Ministry refutes Mahama's false claim. The claim being that it had misused $150 million allocated by the World Bank for desilting major drains in Accra under the Garrett project. Then don't release land to illegal miners. Ochehene warns landowners in Achim, Buakwa. I will not get on the chieftaincy issue with Galamsey. I will not be tempted to go there today. Akufo-Addo charges journalists be gatekeepers of truth. Baumia leads Mahama in latest polls, and NPA sensitizes consumers on safe use of LPG and CRM. There's this interesting story, and that was the Ghanaian publisher. The Daily Searchlight released anti-Galamsey protesters, and Alan Chematin says that I'll give Ghanaians minimum wage of 150 to 300 cedis. Hassan Ayariga promises. There's also some 5,000
Who said that?
in there.
Hassan Ayariga.
Galamsey, Ghana may have to import infusions for health delivery. Senkakra, we are getting there. The Ghana Water Company Limited, others keep telling us. The day we get there, I guess maybe we'll wake up. And this final one, Akufo-Addo signs UN's Pact of the Future, but destroys Ghana's environment. Food for thought. I'd like to say a very big thank you, Afeo Moni, former President, Ghana Journalists Association, Naa Yaa Jantuah, former General Secretary of the CPP and also with the PURC. Sweetie Abochi, shall we?
And that's how we're wrapping up for the news review segment. You want to stay with us because sports is coming up next. Thank you.